What's up everybody, Tony here with High Tech Check, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Pineworld Q106 smart lock. Now this smart lock is available right now on Amazon, and I will be putting links in the description in case you guys want to pick it up yourself. And if you guys like me and you want to support my channel, please use those links because it helps me keep purchasing products to do reviews for you guys. So this smart lock has some pretty cool features. There are 4 different ways that you can unlock the lock. It has a fingerprint sensor, you can use the keypad, you can use the app, and you can also use a physical key. It also has an IP65 waterproof rating that can withstand temperatures of negative 77 degrees up to 122 degrees. And it also has a sensor to detect when your door is actually closed, and then it'll automatically lock. So I'm going to go ahead and do a full installation to show you how easy it is to install. Then I'm going to go over all of the features and how they work along with the application. And then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the product at the end. So let's go ahead and see what you get inside the box first. Okay, so here it looks like we have our manual. Here's the main body of the smart lock. We'll put that off to the side for a second. And here we have our other piece. That's it for the box. So here it looks like we have all our parts. Here's our door plate with a little plastic piece here that probably fits inside your door for protection. Here is the lock itself. Now I know you do see this white stuff on it. It looks kind of weird, but it is just a sticker to keep everything underneath it nice and neat and unscratched. Here are your keys. You get 3 of them. And then here's some more screws. And here we can see the main body of the door lock. It is pretty compact and slim. It's not super huge. Let's get a nice little rubber gasket on the underside here to keep your door from getting all scratched up. And here's a plastic piece we can just rip off. There's your fingerprint sensor on the top. This will light up to show you the keys. And then here is the manual key that you can open up and use, held in place by a little magnetic lock there. So that looks pretty cool. And then here is the inside portion. It's a little bit bulkier. It is made of all aluminum, as well as the outside door lock. They have a very substantial weight to them. They do not feel cheap whatsoever. They're very nicely built. Under here we have what looks like 4 AA slots. It does not come with battery, so you're going to need to get some of that. And then here we have our door locking mechanism here. And there's a little button. And that's pretty much all you get inside the box. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and show you the full installation, and then we'll go ahead and go over all of the features in the application. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to remove the top door lock and the latch. You don't have to remove the bottom door handle here because it's just going to take up this part of the door. And you also need to make sure that your door is also thick enough for this to work, and the dimensions are online so you can check before you purchase it. So the first thing we want to install is our deadbolt. Now it does come in one size when you first get it, so put it in to see if it actually fits first, and if it does, great, there's no adjustment that you have to make. But if your door is a little thicker than mine, you can just simply twist this and it'll make it even longer so the middle will line up with this latch. But I don't need to do that, so I'll just go ahead and leave it, and then we'll install it just as it is. Another thing you want to make sure is that you see this up arrow. You make sure that this is pointing up when you do install this. So once we've installed our deadbolt, then we can go ahead and install the plate on the other side of the door. If you want, you can use the one that already came with it. That's what I'm going to do because it's a special one and it does adjust. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the one that I currently have on my door. So the next thing that we're going to install is the outside plate. As you can see, there is a shroud on here. So If your door is too thin, this shroud does come off, and then we can just simply slip this little metal piece here through the little slot on the bottom here, and we'll also fish the power cord through this hole as well. So as you can see here, there is a little slot in the middle of the door latch, which we will feed this little metal piece through, and then we're going to fish the power cable underneath the door latch here, just like that. And then we'll put that little metal slot right in between, and then we'll push this on the door. As you can see, it slides on pretty easily. Okay, so now it does come with two different size screws. You need to choose the one that's the right length for your door, and that will go through the holes right on each side here. So here we have our plate for the inside portion. We'll go ahead and fish the power cable right through this little hole here. And then we just need to line up these holes with the holes in the latch. We'll take our screws here and we'll feed them through, making sure it goes through the holes. So what I would do is pull on the little power cable ever so slightly to make sure that the outside door lock doesn't fall off, and then just tighten these down enough to where nothing moves, but you can still move it around. So now we're going to make sure our door lock is all lined up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. This looks lined up pretty good too. So we'll go ahead and tighten that down the rest of the way. You also want to make sure that your door can lock, so you can twist the little thing here to see how well the door unlocks and locks. Seems to be pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to install the inside lock portion. You're going to take off the battery cover, which exposes a couple holes that we're going to use to affix it to the plate here. Then you're going to want to pop off this little plastic piece here to expose the little connection for the power cable. So you're going to take your power cable here, we're going to turn it around, you're going to fish it right through this little hole here so it comes out the front. As you can see, just like that, and then we're going to push it into the inside here. Okay, so once we know that each side is pushed in, we'll go ahead and put this onto the plate. Now you need to make sure that this little metal piece here is flat, and we're going to go ahead and put that right into the little slot here. As you can see, this is flat too, so we're going to want to make sure that our door lock is straight up and down. Okay, so once that's on the door, we'll go ahead and put in these two screws. Just make sure they're hand tight. And we can go ahead and put our plate back on here. Now before we put our batteries in, we can do one more door check to make sure that everything works smoothly. Okay. Just do it kind of gently because it does engage the gears here. We'll go ahead and put our batteries in. Now there is one more screw on the bottom here, which is used with this black screw. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Now I will go ahead and tell you that once you're done with the installation, there is a way to do a lot of things manually without having an application on your phone, but it's not very easy to do. I would just suggest installing the lock, installing the application, and then finishing off from there. There's also a little button on the bottom right hand corner here that you can use to automatically lock and unlock the door as well, instead of manually doing the switch. Now this door lock also does have the option to use this with Wi-Fi, so you can actually unlock the door lock while you're away from your home, but you're going to need to get an extra piece that's called a Wi-Fi gateway that allows this to connect to your Wi-Fi using Bluetooth. I don't have that, so I can't show that to you, but it is an option to buy. Okay, so now on our phone, we're going to go ahead and do the installation for the app. So we'll go into our App Store. We're going to search for Tuya Smart. We're going to go ahead and install that. We'll sign up if you haven't already. Okay, so there is an automatic way to add the lock to the application. All you need to do is make sure that you're registered and logged into the app. Then once you do that, we'll go ahead and hold in the reset button.
Initialization success.
As you can see, the device popped up on the screen. Go ahead and click Go to Add. You're going to need to make sure you hold the phone near the smart lock so it can be in range for the Bluetooth. So as you can see, it quickly added. We'll go ahead and go to Next. We can go ahead and rename our smart lock. Click Save, then click Done. And as you can see, it quickly added the door lock. Now, if this method doesn't work for you, there's also a manual way to add the door lock, and I'll show you that now. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add a device. Okay, then we'll go ahead and choose Security and Video Surveillance. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and select Smart Lock BLE.
Initialization success.
Okay, you hold in the reset button for 3 seconds. As you can see, the smart lock pops up. We'll go ahead and click the plus button. Okay, it's connected. We'll hit Next. Now you can go ahead and name it whatever you like. Click Done.
Quit setting.
Now once you hear that quick setting, you're going to have to open your door all the way. Then what you need to do is light up the keypad until you see the back button lit up. And then manually lock and unlock your door until it says successful.
Successful.
Now you can close the door. So this door lock does have the capability of performing auto lock features, but before we can enable that, we need to set the door to the closed position. So make sure your door is closed. We'll go ahead and unlock the door if it's locked. You're going to want to open the door all the way and then close it again. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to light up the keypad. We'll go ahead and press 7 lock. We'll put in the administrator code and then we'll hit the lock button again. And it should say successful. After that, we can go ahead and turn on the auto lock feature. Okay, so the way you're going to enable the auto lock feature is you're going to close your door, you'll light up the keypad, you'll press the number 7 and the lock button. It'll ask you to put the admin code in, so we'll go ahead and do that. Press the lock button. Then we'll go ahead and put our fingerprint in there. It says successful. So then we'll go ahead and open the door and then close it and it should auto lock. One thing to know about this smart lock is the fact that it can only be paired up to one phone. So when you register your phone with the smart lock, make sure that phone is the one you want to use all the time. Okay, so once you've registered your application and added your smart lock, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the things you can do in the actual application itself. So here we are on the home screen. You can see your Bluetooth smart lock right here. And if we go ahead and click on that, it'll take us into the portion of the app where you can unlock and lock your door lock. So if you want to unlock the door, you just tap and hold in the middle.
Already unlocked.
And then unlocks your door. Okay, so if you use the app to unlock the door, there isn't an option to automatically lock it, because if the door doesn't open within like 10 seconds, it automatically relocks itself. If we swipe over to the left, you can see you can obtain a dynamic password that you can use yourself or to give to somebody, and it expires after 5 minutes. We can also rename our smart lock if you want. Just click on the little pen with the line underneath it, and we can rename it. We can also change the icon and your location. Now if we look down at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, you'll see member management. This is where you can add other members to your home to use the smart lock, or you can just use the one login with different passwords. Like I have mine. I have me and my wife set up underneath it, and we just use different passwords and fingerprints. So if we want to add another member, we can either hit the plus sign underneath the family members, or if you want to add a guest, you can hit other member, and then you can either add family member or other member. Each one has its own different permissions. So as you can see at the bottom, we can add different fingerprints, whereas I just have mine right now. We hit the plus sign, and then we'll go ahead and start capturing, and then we'll go ahead and register our fingerprints 6 different times.
Input again. Please input again. Please input again. Please input again. Please input again. Successful.
And as you can see, it captures pretty fast, and then you can enter a name for that person's fingerprints. And then for the passwords, you can pretty much do the same thing. Just hit the plus. You can have one generated for you, or you can put one in yourself. And you can also enable duress password. So if this password's put in, it'll trigger the door unlock as well as the alert that maybe you're in trouble. The only thing is, if you only have the Bluetooth enabled, you're only going to be able to get the alert to people who are inside your house connected by Bluetooth. If you want it remote, you're going to need to get that gateway that connects with Wi-Fi to give that alert to everybody outside your house. And then here, if we look at unlocking records, you can see who has actually unlocked the door and at what time. And if we go to our settings, you can also manage your fingerprints, your passwords, and also give out temporary passwords as well. Like if you have a guest or somebody in your home, or if you have maybe Airbnb or something and you want the password to expire after a certain time, you can easily set that. So here we have the one-time password that can be used only once, then it expires, or the periodic password that you can set to a different time and have it expire at a certain date. Your password management we've already seen, as well as the fingerprint management. You can also change the lock navigation on the lock from mute, low, or high. Then if we move over to smart in the middle here. And then here's where we go to set our automations and tap to run scenarios. As you can see, the very first one I have, if Bluetooth smart lock password unlock is equal to 1, send me a notification. Well, there's other little things that you can set, and that's where you would go to set them yourself, like if this, then that. You also have it remind me if the door is not closed, and you can do other settings there as well. Again, like I said, this smart lock has the capability to utilize Wi-Fi, but you have to buy an extra piece, which is the Wi-Fi gateway, for you to be able to, unlock the door remotely when you're not in Bluetooth range. And here, if we set the plus here, you can set all your different parameters and whatnot. Then if we go over to me. Now there are a few third-party apps that you can use with this smart lock. I was going to show you how to use it with Amazon Alexa, but it's not currently working. The company is working on getting it enabled though. Your home management, message center, this is where you're going to get those notifications to your app. Now if you want notifications sent to your SMS or maybe like a phone call or something like that, that's an extra feature you're going to have to pay for. There is a trial that you can do, but it is a paid for service. All the other notifications are going to go directly to the app instead of your phone. And if we look in the notifications here, you can enable notifications, you can enable the alarm, set a do not disturb schedule, your home settings and bulletins. So you can see all the different fingerprint unlocks that I've done. Now I know that there is a section in the Tuya app that looks like you would be able to unlock your smart lock with your Apple Watch, but currently you aren't able to do that. And if we go into the top right hand corner of the settings here, there's personal information, account and security. The only thing you really have to worry about in this portion is the sound, the app notifications you can turn on, scan devices and home page, dark mode, and temperature. Everything else you really aren't going to need. And you can also use this with Apple HomeKit as well. And that's pretty much it for the app. It's pretty simple, not much to do really in here except for really use it to unlock your door lock. The fingerprint sensor on this door lock does work pretty well, and it's pretty quick too. So we'll go ahead and lock that door, and then I'll go ahead and use my fingerprint.
Already unlocked.
As you can see, it works really well. I haven't had any time where it did not work, but I will let you know that if you do live in a drier climate like I do in here in Colorado, your fingers might get really dry and it might have trouble recognizing your fingerprint that way. But other than that, it seems to do a really good job of recognizing them.
Already unlocked.
And then if you want to manually lock your door, you just light up the keypad and press the lock button. And then if you want to manually still unlock your door with a physical key, all you need to do is move this little cover here, put in your key, and you can lock your door very easily. Now another really cool feature is the anti-peep feature that it has. So if you have a certain password that you use for the door lock, you can type in another number prior to you putting in your original password. So it kind of will mask the actual password that you're using for the door lock, but it maxes out at 16 characters. So if your password is 6 characters long, you can put anything up to 10 before the actual 6. So I'll show you how that is. So if my password will say is 1 2 3 4 5 6, we unlock.
Already unlocked.
We can put up to 10 characters before that to kind of mask my lock. So we'll go ahead and do this again. I'll put in 7 8 9 4 5 6, then 1 2 3 4 5 6, unlock. And as you can see, it still unlocks the door even though that was not my whole password. As long as you put in your password at some point, you can use any other numbers prior to that up to 16 characters to mask your password. So we can also do it the other way. So I'll put in our real password, then 98788, and as you can see, it still locks the door. So you can put it in prior to your original password or after it. Now you can also get your door to stay unlocked. Say if you are going in and out often, instead of it locking and unlocking all the time, you can set it to stay unlocked. And the way that you do that is you unlock the door either with your password or your fingerprint.
Already unlocked.
And then you just press 5-8.
Always open mode.
And then it stays always open, but you have to be mindful that it's not going to lock on its own. So we'll go ahead and close the door just to show you that it does not lock. And as you can see, it is not locked. So if you want to get out of that mode, all you need to do is put your password in or use your fingerprint.
Always open mode. Be careful for security. Already unlocked.
So now we'll go ahead and close the door again. And as you can see, it did auto lock that time. Another thing with this lock is if you input the wrong password or fingerprint 5 times, it will automatically go into lockdown mode for 180 seconds. So you can't just continuously keep trying the password. And if you want to get that unlocked, all you need to do is put in the correct password or use the correct fingerprint. This lock is also equipped with an emergency power port. As you can see on the bottom here, there is a micro USB connection that you can use to power the device by a power bank or a 9-volt battery or something like that. And then you can use your fingerprint to unlock the door if you don't happen to have the physical key. So now, after getting to use this lock for about a week now, I just want to give you my impressions and final thoughts on this smart lock. So for one, the build quality is really good. The outer door lock feels like a solid slab of aluminum, so the build quality is definitely on par. The fingerprint sensor works really quick, as you saw in the video. Never had any issues with that working. Worked every time I put my fingerprint on there. The keypad also works fine. Never had any issues with that either. And then you also have the key to use. So there's 4 different ways to get in your house. Now, as far as the application goes, it's very simple. Really, the only thing I used it for was to unlock the door. And I don't know about you, but to unlock my door when I'm coming home or something like that, I'm just going to use my fingerprint or the keypad. I'm not going to bother to pull out my phone, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to be like that too. The setup process was a little confusing, but hopefully this video helped you do the installation and setup. But once you got it going, everything seemed to work pretty good. So the only other thing that you really might care about is the fact that it doesn't work with Amazon Alexa right now. But again, like I said, they are working on it. I have really never used Amazon Alexa to unlock my doors, so it's not going to be a deal breaker for me. I'm more concerned about how the lock works and how well it's built and things like that. But you might care. But like I said, they are working on getting Amazon Alexa working. And as far as not being able to pair more than one phone to the lock is, again, not a big deal for me. You're really only going to use the phone to set up your passwords and management like that. Other than that, are you really going to pull out your phone to unlock the door? You may need it if somebody's at your door, like a friend, and you want to let them in. But other than that, you're really not going to need to use your phone to get in your door. The only other thing you might want to purchase is that Wi-Fi gateway, like I said, especially if you're away from your home and you need to lock and unlock your door to maybe let somebody in. That's one thing that you're going to need to purchase, because as of right now, like the one that I have is only Bluetooth, so you can only use it while you're inside your home. But other than that, again, it's really not a bad smart lock. I definitely recommend it if you guys want to pick one up. And again, I will be putting a link in the description in case you guys want to pick one up yourself. So if you guys like me and want to support my channel, make sure you use those links, because it helps me keep purchasing products to do reviews for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell to let you guys know when I put out new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.